Okay, folks. It's Fred Caney. We are live at 8:01 p.m. And I'm Fred Caney from Valley Bigfoot and Inside Virginia Squatch. Tonight we're supposed to have Tim fasaNO. I sent him a link and we're sitting there waiting on him. So we're just going to have a small discussion of everything. But in the meantime, if y'all got any questions for me or my research area, just chat on the line, chat on the link that y'all are looking at this show on, and we'll see what we can do till we get Tim fasaNO on there. All right, let me see something here. Okay. Anyway, Keith.
Hello. Welcome.
I hear you have a show now.
I am working on a show from Australia. It's the Australian Cryptozoology Research Organization, and they've got a film and documentary spot where they do films and documentaries on it. And they asked me last month if I would do a show for them. So I thought about it for about 2 minutes and said yes. And so now I'm trying to put a show together, which is really interesting because I've never done anything like this before.
Are you nervous about it?
Am I ever? It's not something that I would do normally, but I like to overcome my.
Well, you know you got that. You know you got that movie star look. You know.
I do. I've been in the movie. I actually worked with Adam Beach for 4 days in Gold River here doing a film about a whale. So I do have some acting in my background and a few church plays. You know, I was a shepherd.
I was always an angel.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I said, folks, if y'all got any questions, like I said, we're waiting for Tim fasaNO to pop in here. He's the guest tonight. And y'all probably know about him and the Florida skunk ape. Now, I had him ready for last week, but he said bump it up a week because they was going in the woods Friday morning, and they would be back, so he should be popping on any time. Now, that was last week that he's been in there, so, you know, we're going to have to see, because I'm dying to find out what he's been doing and everything. So if y'all got any questions for me, you know, till then, you know, just go ahead, pop them in there, you know. I'll be glad to tell you about me and my research area and what the lowdown is now that hunt season's coming in and everything.
I have a question, Fred.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about the details of the camping trip you're going to do in the spring.
What we're doing, it'll be me, there'll be Valley Bigfoot and Inside Virginia Squatch, it'll be ECBRO with Daniel Benoit, and we're going to try to have Tracy Arnold from the, I can't remember the name of his group, but he's down in Whitfield, down there next to your, you know, almost down to Virginia line and everything, Carolina line. And what we're going to do is we're going to work my area for a couple of days. Then we're going to go move the camps up to his area, which we both have. We're both in the George Washington National Forest. I'm in Augusta County, and he's in part of his camp. Part of his research area is in Augusta County and in North Augusta. So his part of the woods ends up over in West Virginia. My research area is over 130,000 plus acres, and I'm right off the Blue Ridge Parkway, 5 minutes as the crow flies, you know.
Right.
And what we're going to do is when we research, we're going to set up cameras, we're going to have standards and all this bunch of stuff, you know, and we're going to look for signs, hair, tracks. We're going to do nighttime investigations and everything. But spring is the best time because I'm going to put 2 to 3 people in and around the birthing area. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try to do that as soon as I can because I got to go down in there and find out if they're there or not, because believe me, I can tell when they're there because they let me know they're there. They grab me out of the area. Now, last time I had Daniel and one of his girlfriends in. Hello, Nikki. Nikki.
I see her, but she's not live.
Oh, that's right. She's still getting on. But anyway, I had them in there, and we was standing there at the base of the ridge there where the birthing area is, and you could hear chattering.
Mhm.
And the girl says, "I hear chattering." I says, "Yeah, that's about 3 or 4 of them on the other side of the knoll or the ridge talking." "Well, how do you know it's them?" I says, "Believe me, I know." And and then when I said, "Let out a whoop, and I'll show you they'll stop talking." She let out a whoop, boom, they stopped talking. About a minute later, they started right up. I said, "See, I told you." So I said, "Okay." We went around to another area, and I was showing Daniel where I saw this gray one shoot down the hill and across the creek. But when I seen it, it was like extremely fast. So I said, "Okay." So the girl got up on a log, and I said, "Well, go ahead and let out a whoop. Let's see if any young ones are around." Well, when she let out that whoop, we heard whoo, 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 real screwy, you know. I said, "There he is, right over there. It's a juvenile," and he was less than 30 yards from us. And he tried to imitate that owl, but it was so comical, you know. But I mean, like I say, around April and May is when when they start migrating into my areas, and I do have a birthing area, but people say they want me to show blood, they want me to show afterbirth, they want me to take video of the area, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Simple fact is, if I do that, there'll be people coming from all over the United States into my area trying to find Bigfoot, tearing up my area and everything. They
And they
do.
deserve a certain amount of privacy too, the
Right.
Bigfoot.
I mean, I have blood, I have afterbirth, and I have videos and everything, but I'm not going to share them. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Freddie.
Okay, baby. Now, how have you been doing, and how's your Bigfooting going on?
Oh, you know what? I haven't done anything in a long time. That's why I haven't been online or doing much of anything. My mom got real sick, so I've kind of been, any extra time I have, I've been spending with her.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so I haven't been, but the last time I was out in my area, everything was gone. It's like they weren't even there anymore. So,
Oh, well,
I
you have,
mean, yeah.
yeah, you haven't seen what I've been getting in my area, have you?
I've just been following some of your videos and stuff, but not like behind the scenes stuff like usual. Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
I've been having a boatload of juvies follow me. I got them on
Really?
video. Yeah, I got juveniles all over the place following me. I got photographs of a couple of big ones behind the tree,
Uh-huh.
and I was telling people, I said, when you walk through the woods and you feel like something, and you hear something, and you feel like something's following you, stop, look around, say, okay, probably my imagination.
Uh-huh.
Take about 8 or 9 steps and stop in mid step. That squatch or them squatches will take that one last step to get into position to watch you, but you can't see him.
Uh-huh.
And you hear that crunch, they just give the location away. I've
Wow.
got, I've got, I got one juvie that I over zoomed on.
Uh-huh.
I went in one day in a pine thicket, and I had some cinnamon rolls. So I, did the old, boy, this tastes that good, I mean, oh, yummy, yummy. I mean, I lit it out thick. And I stuck them on a little stick that I had put in the ground, about 3 foot high. I said, well, I'm going to walk on down the ridge. I walked down the ridge about 100 yards or so, and I sat down on a log. Over to my left, about 30 yards, 40 yards, I had tree break. I had rock clacking, tree knocks. They tried to get me to come over to that area, but I just sat there. Well, next thing you know, I heard two of them run. I heard something run up the ridge, and then you hear chattering up there. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I said, okay, I'll give them another 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I walked up there. Cinnamon buns are gone, but on the ground there was a stick. There was a little square made out of sticks, and an X in it. and right below that, they had took one stick and broke it into 3 pieces, made a cup, and laid a pine cone in it.
What?
Yeah. So I got my camera and I sit down and I turn around and I had one right dead in front of me. I could see about that much of his shoulder on the it would be his left shoulder facing me. Well, I seen him and I panned to my right and I zoomed in on something back in the bushes, black. Well, I zoomed back out a little bit and I started panning and I got to that where that one was in front of me and I zoomed back out just a little bit more. But when I turned it to the left and I stopped, a juvenile stepped out from behind a tree and I got him stepping out from behind the tree. But I
Nice.
over zoomed on him. You know,
Oh.
he was like 20 feet from me, and I had the cameras. The zoom was still set up at 30, 40 yards. But I got him. If you go to my photographs, you'll see one picture with like 4 arrows pointing at this
Uh-huh.
one thing. You'll see the tree, then you'll see his hairline, you'll see his face and his chest. He wasn't no taller than 3.5 foot tall. There were four of them
Wow.
there following me that day
Wow.
and everything, you know. So I mean, but right now, rifle season will be coming in a couple in about another coming into 14th, you know. And me and Daniel Benoit are going to have uh, a city what they call a city meeting like Bigfoot does,
Yeah.
like finding Bigfoot, well, town meeting. There you go. And
Uh-huh.
we're gonna have it over at this place called Buckhorn Inn and everything.
Town hall.
Yeah, town hall meeting and everything. Oh, by the way, the guest tonight's supposed to be Tim fasaNO. So,
What?
yeah, that's who I'm supposed to have on here tonight. Oh, you don't know about it. I,
No, I don't know about it. I
okay,
told you I've kind of like been laying low. I just kind of
no,
snooze all the groups and listen to what's going on, but I really stayed away from all
all right,
the
what
live
I'm do,
chats and stuff.
yeah, what I'm doing a project called Researchers Across the Country. So
Okay.
far, and what it does, it helps people who want to get into Bigfooting, beginners, anybody who's got questions can go to my YouTube channel, Researchers Across the Country, and I've got Scott Carpenter, I got Mike Merchant, I got wait a minute, I'll tell you exactly who I got.
Barb.
Let's see, I got Scott Carpenter, Michael Merchant. I just done Brenda Harris Wednesday night. I done Tony Burke on the first, and tonight's Tim fasaNO. On the 11th, I had Barb Shoop. On the 25th, I got Rocky Mountain Sasquatch, and on December 5th, I got Sharon Day.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Big lineup.
yeah,
I can't wait for Barb.
yeah, and right now, you know, I might end up having Rick Dyer on here one night.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, now everybody knows that Rick Dyer, and he's admitted it to me and Daniel. He popped on one of our talk shows one night, and yeah, he's a hoaxer. He admits it. But here's the thing: he is a good squatcher. He is a good tracker. He knows how to do it. That's why I'm having him on here because I can get him away from that fake bull crap and get it like Michael Merchant. Everybody thought Michael Merchant was off the wall. Actually, Michael Merchant is a very, very, very intelligent person.
Yeah.
He is. Yes, he is.
All right, let me see something here real quick here on my Facebook. Let me go back to my Facebook. Yeah, Rose Moreland, I'm listening, watching your show. Say hello for me. Okay, well, Rose, if you want to come on the air, I will send you the link if you would like to come. Just say yes or no. And don't wimp out on me now. Well, wait. Say new. All right, I got a young lady coming on that says hello, and she's New Jersey Bigfoot. Her name is Rose Mulholland. Now, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say again. Do you want to come on? Yes or no? Just say it, because I'm sending you the link right now. Too late. You got to come on the air now.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Okay? She's nervous. I can see her. I can see her typing. No, I'm not ready for giggling. I'm not giggling. I'm not ready. I'm giggling.
Oh
Oh,
my.
come on, Rose.
That's gonna make us giggle too.
Yeah, it make everybody giggle. I got Nikki on here. Nikki wants you to come on too.
Come
Everybody
on
wants you to
on.
come.
You can mute yourself so you can't hear yourself giggle.
She's telling me no.
Oh,
Well, let her just listen, and if she
Uh,
has a question, she
uh,
can ask a question.
okay, all right. Let me ask you this, Rose. Would you like me to interview you one night on my show about you and your research area and the way you research it? If Tim fasaNO doesn't come on in about 15 minutes, I want you to come on. Okay? There's no pressure, none whatsoever, because I've been dying to ask you, talk to you anyway. Please say yes, please. I'm begging you, because we're live on TV right now. Oh,
You'll
you're
all be
not.
really nice and
You're
ask
not.
good
You're not
questions.
a. You're not a chicken. You're not a chicken. Oh, what she's saying now. So am I. Big deal. I'm camera shy too. Come on. Uh, please. I'll get on my knees and beg you if I have to. I heard that, y'all. I'm trying to get a show going here. Apparently, fasaNO is not going to show up. Apparently, for some oddball reason. He
Maybe
knows.
he got hung up in the brush. Brush.
I don't know. His cab fares might be getting too much for him. Might be making a lot of money from my cab fare. I'll promise another time. I promise. Oh, come on, Rose, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Please, baby, please. She keeps saying soon, but wait a minute. Dang, now there we go. What's she saying? Dee. I'm sorry, not tonight, but thank you. Oh, you broke my heart, sweetheart. Why'd you break my heart?
That's all right. We can carry on. She can come
Well,
on another night, maybe.
well, I'll tell you, she has got an area to kill for.
nice.
I'm the only one that I know of that is that I've seen what she's got in her area, and I mean all I'm gonna say is she's got some very compelling. These guys greet her when she goes there. She don't even have to get out of the car. All she's got to do is just roll up.
How long has she been working with them, or
I don't know.
in her area? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, she's been doing it for quite a few years in this area. I mean
Okay.
these guys trust her. They like her. I mean, she showed me photographs. At up close range, two of well, not close, but at close range and at far range. And these guys go bananas when they see her.
Because
Especially,
it takes time to build up that much trust.
well, she's good at what she does.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I haven't seen anything here lately, but but what I can say is what she's got in her area is very, very, very compelling.
Sounds like she would
What
have
state is she in?
good.
Huh?
What state is she in?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Sounds like it would be very interesting to hear
She's
what
been
she has to say.
yeah, she's been doing it 4 years now in the same area. Well, it's like me in my area. I mean, I'm constantly in my area, every day or every like that. Even when I go hunting, the juveniles follow me everywhere, and I think it's cool as heck. I think it's cool as heck because what they are trained to do is watch humans, learn from humans, and that's what I know about. And I've been doing this since '81. '86, I had let's see, all right, well, I'll start beginning. '81, I'm living over in Highland County, and I decided to go hunting one day, and I was walking up Jack Mountain, And I stopped, turned my turned around, and was looking back at the cabin that me and my dad lived in, and he was, I was just sitting there smoking a cigarette and everything, and all of a sudden, I turned back around, and there's this uh, 9 to 10 foot bipedal standing there in front of me, kind of a reddish, brownish gray, And when I turned around, I mean, my feet froze, I froze, and he looked at me. The expression, I mean, it was like looking at a human on steroids, but hairy. Um, who is this? Someone says, all right, hold on a second here. Somebody hairy in the shadows. Hey, hey. Freddie knows the times are near, or watch it. See, when Freddie knows the times are near. They are watchers, guardians. Freddie knows more than what I have seen. Yeah, I do know a lot, but I don't tell everybody, and that's the main thing of it. But when I was standing there, he was looking at me, and the expression on his face was, "Yeah, okay, you're a human, so this is what y'all look like up close." I turned my head, saying, "This is gonna hurt," and about a second later, I turned back around, and he was walking off. So, but I did not feel threatened. Actually, it was like, it was cool. Then, I told my dad about it, and he didn't believe me, so I took him up to the top of the ridge, and I showed him the tracks. He's like, he's like, huh, okay. So that's all we said. Forgot,
Nice.
forgot about that. Okay. All right. 86. Um, I'm in my research area, and me and this girl was riding around one night, and we decided to go into Candy Fields, and everything. And I got hung up, and I just luckily about 1:30 in the morning, just luckily a friend of mine showed up, and he hooked up to us, and we were just sitting there talking, and about 20 minutes after he got there and hooked up, we heard this god awful scream. It sounded like a banshee scream. We had rocks thrown at us. We had sticks. So we heard tree breaks, and it scared the hell out of us. So we got the hell out of Dodge. So the next day, I showed back up there, and I called the game warden. He said, "What do you want?" I said, "I want to show you something what was up here last night." I took him into the area where he was at, which was right on the side of the road. I showed him 4 snapped trees. The trees was every bit as big as a basketball, if not bigger. 9 foot high, the trees were snapped. I showed him tracks, and they were 5 feet strides. He said, "Well, it could have been a bear." I said, "No, a bear runs in a 3 pattern. Bum, 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 bum. This was a boom, 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 boom." Well, he acted like he didn't know what the hell was going on. So I said, "Fine. All right, bump it up to um, May 13th of 2013. I'm in the woods. It was spring. It was turkey season. I've been baiting this area for about 6 months, and baiting with peanut butter. And I did find out I showed them how to take a lid off, and I showed them how to put the lid back on. All right. They got to the point where they were taking the lids off and laying the lids down next. I had a red lid and a blue lid, which was smooth and crunchy, and they were laying the lids down next to each stick that I had the peanut butter on. And on the 13th, I went in there, and I got this god awful smell. It was like human feces, ammonia, urine, everything combined together. It burned my eyes, my nose, and my throat. Like, okay, it's cool. All right, I said 2 things. Why'd y'all steal my jars, and where are you at? All right, a buddy of mine, Nikki knows who I'm talking about. Uh, um, I can't think of his name right now, but he did ultrasound and picked up when I said, "Where y'all at?" He picked up, "We are here." And when I said, "Uh-huh," I mean, when I said, "Where y'all at?" and "Where's my jars?" I heard, "Uh-huh," and "We are here." They picked that up. Well, anyway, about 2 minutes later, I seen 6 bipedals over to the left of me walking. And when I pulled my camera out, my video camera, and started recording, they had dropped down behind trees, and I zoomed in from, let's say, 75 to 80 yards, and I zoomed in there, and I got 3 of them behind a tree. I got on the right side of the tree, I got a black one looking right dead at me. And on the left side of the tree, I got a reddish brown female leaning against the tree, and over her right shoulder is a cinnamon brown one looking at the black one on the right side of the tree. All right, I've seen him. All right, I've been going back ever since then, and a couple of days later, about a week or so later, I videoed one with his back to me at 48 yards. People were saying, "Why don't you approach it?" All right, now let me ask you something, Keith.
Hello.
Would you approach a squatch
Um,
if you've seen one with his back to you, and he knows you're there? Would you approach him?
I don't know. Probably not. Not
Okay,
until I learn more about them.
okay. What about you, Nikki?
Um, I think I'd do the timber giant Bigfoot thing. I would have knocked on a tree and let them know I'm there, and then I would see what happens.
Okay,
I
now
I
go
do.
ahead.
I think I would. If I saw movement and I had it on video, then I probably would leave it alone. But if I saw no movement, I'm just the type of person to make it move. Because if it doesn't move, then it's nothing to me. I need to
Okay,
see movement. So,
all right. You saw the video and the photograph I'm talking about. It's the heading on my Inside Virginia Squatch.
yeah.
Now, I seen it and I saw slight movement. When the wind was blowing, you could see its hair move. All right. Everybody says, I told everybody, I will not approach a squatch because number one, they are wild. Two, would you approach a bear with cubs?
No.
Everybody says
No.
no. Same scenario. It knew I was there and it sat there frozen like a rock. All right. A couple weeks later, Candy Canada went in and redid my video. She stabilized it, and you could see movement on the hair. You can see some people say that it was holding a baby. I don't know. All I know is I seen it and I zoomed in on it at 48 yards, and I did see movement, but I would not go after it, and I'm not going to. All right, moving forward. I'm coming home from turkey hunting one day. I see on my right side, it looked like the biggest black bear I've ever seen in the valley. Well, I cut the Jeep off and come and drift into a stop. He walks out, he stops and stands up. It's a 6 foot high, 6 foot tall young adult. Describing him, his hair was ice cold black, but it was shiny like a Labrador. His arms, the hair was 6 to 8 inches long on his arm. He had long hair going from his knees down. I mean, the whole thing was long. But he had shorter hair on his on his legs, but getting down around his feet, you could see the hair going around his feet. The main thing is he had no hair on his face, but his face was a brownish black color. His eyes, you could see the brow line was massive. His eyes was I call it a midnight chocolate. But just standing there, you could see his muscles ripple. He looked like he'd been pumping weights all his life. I got out Jeep and slowly approached this guy. May God strike me dead, he ran 250 yards in about 4 seconds. Stopped at the top of that saddle, facing away from me, turned his whole half body and looked at me for about a minute, and then turned and just nonchalantly walked off. Now, Nikki,
Yeah.
I want your opinion on what I just said about that last one, the one that walked out in front of me.
Well, you look at it from a totally different perspective than I do. You're a knower. You've seen them, you've had experiences with them, and I'm not. I'm a believer, but I'm not a knower. So until I see something in front of my eyes that makes me a knower, I, I can only go off of you, off of what you say, that I believe you, I believe what you say, and that you had an experience, and everything you recollect when you're out there and you see something and you come back and you tell us about it, that you're being truthful and honest,
Yeah.
and you have your video proof. But what you see in your videos may not be what other people see in your videos, you know
Yeah.
and and that's just the way everything is. But I believe you. I believe that you saw something, and that you wouldn't be out there doing this for this long if there wasn't something to it, just like a
Yeah.
lot of other people. And that's why I respect everybody, whether you're a believer or not believer or habituate, because that's a whole thing. You're like a habituator. You want a relationship with them.
Right.
I don't. I absolutely do not believe in feeding them unless it's something natural that they can get it there. Berries or nuts or apples. In my area, they have apple orchards out there that were from way back when, that have been
Yeah.
overgrown. Um,
Yeah.
but I would never feed them candy. I would never give them peanut butter. I would never give them stuff that we don't know could be toxic to them.
True.
So that's my stance. I may leave an apple or something, but I know well that if I don't see it, pick that apple up with my own eyes, that it
Right.
can be a raccoon or a squirrel or a deer or elk or whatever else is in the area, you know. I don't put out cameras. One day I might, but right now, I'm just starting. I'm just because I am that dreaded enthusiast, the armchair researcher, and have been I this for several years. But it's because I still have young children and I can't get out there every day or every weekend like I would want to.
Right.
So right now I just take in everybody's information. And it's okay if I don't think that their research isn't as good as this person or that one, because it's all anybody's opinion. It doesn't really matter what I think, because I'm only out there to find my answers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I just find it interesting, and it doesn't matter if you're what they call woo and you believe in the whole mind speak, or the do I say it, portals, or whatever that would lead into Bigfoot being alien or from another world. We
Okay.
don't know.
Let
We
me
don't
ask you.
know.
All right. Let me ask you this. Now, the government has finally admitted something. Now, what do you think Bigfoot is?
What do I think it is? I
Yeah.
think, in my opinion, I think it would be more along the line of a North American wood ape. That's what I think.
Okay. Now, what would you say if I told you that they were proven to be human hybrid?
Then I'd have to say you have to prove it. You have to prove, the scientists have to prove it. They
Uh,
have to bring it to light.
I
And then
have.
I'll believe it. I don't have a
Hey,
problem believing any
I have.
any of the
Hey,
ideas, but you
hey,
have to prove it.
I have. I got something sent to me from a certain group that shows the DNA sequence as human hybrid. They sent me a photocopy of it from the Johns
Okay.
Hopkins University.
Wow.
That blew my cookie. That
Mhm.
literally blew my cookie. And I sent. I'm gonna send a copy to Scott Carpenter, and I'm gonna see if it matches the Melba Ketchum thing or whatever. I'm gonna see if it
Yeah.
matches on that. So we're gonna have to see. Now, Leo, you got any questions?
Um, yes, I did, but you always catch me off guard, and I forget, and it leaves my mind. Yes, I had a question. Um, I'll signal you in a minute when I think of it. Daggone it, I hate it when this happens. I did have a question. It was a good question.
Okay.
Um,
You know, I don't. Whatever comes to light with this has
Yeah.
been years in the making since the 60s, you know? I
Right.
mean, it could go on like this forever, and we will really never know.
Yes,
I
true.
just, you know, there's a lot of sightings out there. Not all of them can be fake. I don't think all of those can be fake. I think there's a lot of honest people out there that have had really brilliant sightings but are too scared to say anything.
Yeah.
You know, or they live in the areas and they're in their backyard and, you know, they're either can be too scared or they can be protective. They don't want anybody to know,
yes, I
you
I
know?
agree with that.
So,
Okay. Okay. I have a question. To me from Brown Scarson 29. Um, how do you feel about the Patterson film? Well, the way I see the Patterson film, they filmed it was real, and M.K. Davis cleared it up enough to well, basically he cleared it up so good it looks like a modern day photograph close up. You can see all the hair, you can see uh, the rupture she has on her leg above her knee. You can see the eye infection that she has. Now, back in 1967, was it 64, 67, 67? They Hollywood did not have technology to make outfits like that. Even though they did try to prove it, they could not prove it. You know, they couldn't prove it. And now there was a guy. They had a show on back in the early '70s. Is what was that show called?
In search of
No. This was it's a game show type. Whether you were telling the truth or telling a lie.
truth or consequences.
No, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
This guy
No.
claims that he was the Bigfoot, and he luckily passed the test by 1 point. But he could not give the exact details
Hmm.
of the movement or the body mass because
I've seen that guy.
if they would if say hypothetically if it was him, he would have to take and have all this foam put on, and when he walked, the whole outfit would shake and move around.
Yeah,
All right, it didn't do that. You could see muscle moving
yeah.
in her legs, her calf. But as you notice, when she walked, she did not straighten her leg up and everything.
And when she turned and looked back, it was almost her head did turn, but it was almost as if kind of the whole top of her body turned also.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember my question too when you're ready.
Okay. I just got another question here. So I'll read that in a minute. Patterson Biggie, same as what I saw in 2005, and have been seeing this last couple of weeks. Patterson Biggie. Patterson Biggie, same as what I've seen in 2005. In other words, did you see something? Did you see a bipedal that looked like Patty? Because the way mine are in my area, the female and one male that I've seen. I got a 11-footer here. His name is I call him Henry. He's about 11 foot tall and he's big as a oak tree. And a female, and well, more or less say the female was pregnant, and she had a massive caboose like Patty. Her breast was exactly like Patty, but her face was full of hair, almost like the Patty film. Henry has no hair on his face, and he is a silverish, blackish gray. Now, he's getting ready to leave the area because when rifle season comes in, they all migrate up to Blue Ridge Parkway. And when they show back up, it's around April, which is good, you know. And I have, I don't know, I might, release one of my videos on the birthing area. I don't know. I'm still debating on it and everything.
That was my question, Fred.
Okay.
Where do you think they go in the winter when it's hunting season? Where do you think that they migrate to or just move to be out of the line of fire and have a quiet place, you know, to winter? So, and you said you think they go toward the Blue Ridge Parkway.
I think they head down toward Florida. They head down toward warmer climate. You know, around South Carolina and Georgia, down into Florida. You know, I think that's what they do. And I know it's the same group because, like coyotes, they mate for life, and the pregnancy period is 9 months. That's already been proven to a point. And they come back to the place of birth. That way they'll give birth back to their young ones.
Yeah.
And I got a thing here that says they go underground. Yeah, that's, well, we got cave areas in the Shenandoah Valley. It's like
and through the Appalachian Trail too.
Yeah, and where I live in a massive salad bowl. You know, it's a giant volcano, and it's called the Shenandoah Valley. And my valley is 99.9% limestone. So you know it's cool. Yeah, like I say, it's limestone, you know, and we got caves. So there might be some that stay, or some that's migrating, stop and stay in the cave areas and everything, you know. But they do travel, and they do come back to their place of birth and everything. Man, it's pretty good. All right, Keith, what about you? You have anything, my man? I see steam coming out of your ears.
Oh, I was going to say something. Now I forgot what it was. You caught me off guard.
That's what I was going to say. He forgot now.
I did. It was for Nikki, too.
Oh, really?
Oh, Nikki, who do you admire the most in the big field world? Who's a mentor?
I admire John Redchun, actually. I don't know if you guys know him.
Wait till I tell your husband.
Well, he doesn't put out very many videos. He doesn't communicate a lot online. He's just out there all the time. And I think he has some incredible footage that he only releases once a year, maybe. So if you don't catch it, you miss it.
And what was his name?
John Redchun.
You talking about that guy who had that one where he tore the camera off the trunk of a tree next to a little bedding area? He threw the camera.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Well,
Uh,
no, no, wait a minute. Me, you, and Norma and um, Shane talked about it one night. The guy said he took and well, actually, he said he found a handprint on a log. He found tracks in the ground crossing the road, and there was a cave type thing, and there was a log or fallen tree, and he put a camera on it.
oh no
And,
no no. That's the guy that proved to be a fake. Do you remember? That guy fooled me. Remember, that's the guy who fooled me. I really liked his stuff, and it turned out that he was just trying to promote his business or whatever.
uh,
So yeah, no, not that guy. This is a different one. He's on my group, Bigfoot Weekly, plug, and he he watches everything. He's one of the watchers. He just listens to the conversations that are going on, and he does his own thing.
yeah.
And but he does have a YouTube channel, so you can go and subscribe to him, but don't expect a lot of videos.
Well, that's cool.
You just have to take what he gives, and but because I've seen some of his footage, I thought it was incredible. Yes, it's still blurry. It wasn't up to par for a lot of people, but it was better than, I could tell it wasn't a stump squatch. So I really like his work because he doesn't fluff it up. He's not looking for anybody to watch him. He's just archiving what he does have. So he's one of my
They're the best
favorites.
folks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to. I keep trying to
Hello.
keep. I try to keep my thing in here. All right, let me try this again here. Okay, here we go. Let me click that off. Is that it? There's Nikki. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, now, okay. Let's see. Got something hairy in the shadows. Says I live in southeast Washington State. Best weather anywhere. I live in the foothills of the Blue Mountains near where Paul Freeman uh, made his video. I would love to go there. I would love to go to the site, but I don't want to pay what they want just to go there and look at a piece of property and everything, So I mean, it's a. I let's see. You were hesitating showing your video. Are you scared somebody will go to the area or just people? All right, here we go. This comes from a friend of mine. It says, why are you hesitating showing your videos? Are you scared somebody would go to your area or just what people will say about it? I believe it myself. Never seen one, just wondering why you don't want to show them. The ones you have showed are good ones. Well, the reason that I really don't show these particular videos with the blood, afterbirth, and bedding areas and everything and DNA hair is simply because if I do, I'm going to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the United States busting down my national forest, trying to go in there. Oh, I want to see the blood. I want to see this. I want to see that. And when you do that, that's going to tell them squatches, hey man, it's time to get the hell out of Dodge and not show up again.
Mhm.
That's why I don't do it. Now, I will say when the time is right, I will show it. But like I said, and besides, right now I got people who want to bury me so deep in the ground, but I'm going to let them lick their lollipops until I'm ready. Now, I get ragged every day, uh, and I just don't particularly get into, have being ragged. I mean, I had Jeff Kelly and his group trash me, trash a buddy of mine too, for no reason. I've been called a known hoaxer. But what I have is no hoax. Flat out. Everybody's seen what I got. They've seen the juveniles. They've seen the squatches that I got. And that's why I don't put those particular videos on. I'm not going to until I'm ready, when everything is exactly right. With not just me, but with the Bigfoot situation, then I will come forward. But till then, why do I want to be saying, oh, look at that, that ain't nobody bunch of bullshit, blah, 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 blah. I'm not worried about that. So I'm just going to hold off on what I got until then. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got photographs. I got some damn good photographs. I'm not going to show them either until things are right. Because if I go ahead and throw them up now, they're going to call me worse than Rick Dyer than anything. If you're listening, Tricky Ricky, you might as well come on there too, and let me hear what you got to say about it. He popped on it. Last time me and Daniel Benoit had a show, he popped on and everything. So, I get out there, and I do even when I'm hunting, I do my research. But when I sit down, I will lay my rifle or whatever I'm using next to me at another tree and turn my back to it. That tells them that I'm not a threat. Yes, I go in and I talk to them. They throw rocks at me, I throw them back. See, what people don't realize what a squatch is, like if you got juveniles hanging around you, they're curious. They're going to try little nitpicking things. If they throw rocks at you, so pick up, say, oh, you dropped this, throw it back. You can always find out exactly where they're at. They will always screw up and give their location away. You just got to know what to listen for. And it took me 6 years to figure this out. But once I figured it out, I proved it. I'm walking through the woods one day. I hear something moving all around me. I said, okay. So I stop. I look around. I said, all right, this is going to be kind of fun. I take exactly 8 or 9 steps, and I stop in mid-step. Right when I stopped, I heard one last crunch, and I turned my video camera to my right, and I zoomed in, and I've got a massive squatch behind a tree, and you can see from his neck all the way out, you can see his whole left side down his chest, because he was on his knees behind the tree watching me. And I'm like, okay, there you are. All right. I get home, I zoom in on him, and I zoom in so close and so clear, you can see the hair coming off, the long hair coming off his arm. I get home. I'm going through the video, and I get to that point, and I take pictures. Well, my wife said, look at this. Over top of that squatch, there's a juvenile peeping out behind a tree looking at me. The whole face, the coned head, the thick eyebrow, the black-eyed chin. Over to the right of me, the left of that big one in front of me, I see 2 glowing eyeballs and what looks like a brown leather head. I can't explain it. Now what? Over to the left of it, or the right of it, was they were looking at me. And there was 4 more in there.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
people don't realize, man, if you go in, it's like when I go in, I expect them, to be there. And all I got to do, you know, if the wind's blowing one certain way, I can smell them, and I know they're there. So all I got basically got to do is just go about my business, you know, and they will work their way from behind me and then get on each side of me. And when I stop and sit down, they will stop. They will move around in front of me. And with everything brown and grayish brown, you know, of the winter woods, the fall, they look like sore thumbs sticking out because they are cold black, every one of them. I got the last video I made. I had four in front of me. I had one laying down behind a stump. The stump wasn't no bigger than that. wasn't no higher. wasn't no more than 12 inches tall. I had another one next to him, sitting there behind laurel brush, trying to act like a log, a stump, and he was like a sore thumb. Another one next to him, leaning against a tree behind the laurel brush, and then the last one, there was two trees going like this. Well, right in the middle of it, there's this one looking at me. You could see his whole head looking at me, and I knew it was the black face ones. What's this say? I rubbed my nose on the belly practically a few days back. He burned my nose. And my shit piss. Oh, get real. Sorry, y'all. I'm just reading something here. But, you know, and I'm taking a wild guess at here, but I'm thinking like at Tim fasaNO's area, he's got the Florida skunk ape down there. Now, I know him and Stacy Brown has been together off and on, you know, doing the things down there. And from what I've seen of what Tim got, it's very compelling, you know. But I haven't seen any videos lately. He was supposed to be here tonight, but apparently he didn't show up and everything, you know. So, what the heck?
I have a question.
Okay.
A lot of people say, a lot of people who've had sightings say that the Sasquatch will, you know, peep and duck and peep out and duck back. Do you find that in your experiences? They're behind a tree or whatnot, that they'll slightly peep out, but then they duck back?
Well, I got a photograph that shows two about 10 feet from me over to my right. Now, when I had the camera turned like that, and I was looking in that direction, they were, they was, let's see here. Okay. Over to my right. As long as I was looking in that direction, they didn't move. But when I turned my head and looked away, they popped up.
Yeah.
And my video camera caught it. But they're called peekers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, all they are is just very, very curious. I mean, that's all it is. They're just curious. All they want to see is what you're doing. Like Paul Halsley, give me a little hint, a trick to try. What you do is you go in and you know they're there, and they're behind you, right? You make sure they're behind you when you start. You go up to a tree. You sit down next to the tree, and you start piddling with something. And then all of a sudden you start hearing movement, and you just keep sliding around that tree, and all of a sudden they'll start, and they'll follow you around that tree, trying to see what you're doing. And they get so aggravated that they will give their location away by grunting or something. You know, they're like, "Damn it, what do you have that I can't see?" That's the curiosity coming out in them.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No, so someone made a comment. So Freddie, I'm supposed to believe you. Well, that's up to you. If you want to, fine. If you don't, fine. That's okay with me. You know, I know it's out there. I've been in the woods I'm in the woods almost every day. I've been doing this since 1981. I know the smell of them. I know exactly what to look for. I know exactly what to listen for. If you've been in doing, and I'm an outdoorsman anyway, you know, and the first thing is to a good outdoorsman is you know the sound of the that the wildlife in your area, the dove, the
Yep.
birds, everything. You know, been doing it as long as I have. You get to know the sounds. Like, okay, this says, Fred, I've watched your videos. Them before. Do they speak? That is it, and do they word area myself? Okay, the language that they speak. Let me start in on this. Um, I was out squirrel hunting one day about a year ago, well, last fall, and I picked up some chattering on my audio, and I heard it, you know, when I got home. So I sent it to a lady friend of mine in Colorado. She's a Cherokee spiritualist, but she teaches ancient language, you know, old language from years and you know, like millennia ago, whatever. And what she said, what I had was they were speaking ancient Cherokee dialect. Now I'll use a Navajo word to see if you understand it. It's called Ushka Yate, and what that means, hey, come check me out. And if they understand it, they'll let me know. But I usually go Doshik, which means my name is Freddie. What's your name? And they will knock, they will let out a whoop, or they will throw a rock at you to let you know they're there. But it's to the point when I go in, I don't have to do none of that. They automatically know what. Apparently, they stay in this one area because we got an abundance of deer, or used to have deer, because I ain't seen none in the past 2 weeks and everything. Let's see. I just backed everything you said. I have been on it since 2005. Good person. And you said get real or whatever. Well, let's just say um, you got to know what you're doing and listening to when you go in. Anybody can go in and say, "Oh, I hear this, I hear that." Well, me and Daniel Benoit picked up a sound over in his area one day, and I told him, I said, "That's a baby squatch." All right. To prove it, when I got back home, I went through every animal and critter that's in the state of Virginia, from a baby up to a full-blown adult, on distress calls, squeals and stuff like that. Nothing matched. Now, I can't say 1,000% that it was a baby squatch, but I can say it was nothing that I've ever heard in Virginia before. And I know almost every animal sound in my area and in Virginia. You know, because back years ago, I'm all over the damn place. You know, so when I said get real, you know, I didn't mean that meanly. I just mean that, you know. Oh, better yet, all right, here's one from Blaze 24. It said, my grandfather hunts Candy Fields, and my dad and uncle also hunt areas of the Cobras. They have never seen anything out of the ordinary, and a lot of tree breaks in your videos are bears. Well, a bear can push a tree over. A bear cannot take a tree and tuck it under a log. A bear cannot make an X. A bear cannot snap a tree 25 feet or let's say 9 feet, 10 feet in the air. If a tree straight up, it takes hands to break it. A bear cannot take and put a tree up into another tree to make it look like a plus. A bear cannot snap a small tree and twist it to the left or to the right. That's the argument that people have with me in my area. The thing about it is, the reason that you don't see them is because they will not let you see them. They are very, very intelligent creatures. I've been in Kennedy Field since '81. '86, we had that female bipedal come out in front of us running. We got her in the headlights. I had in '13, I had the family group come out in front of me, and then I had that one white, one black one come out in front of me. All right. Once these guys, in like the apple orchard, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. The apple orchard is where I go if I want them to follow me. They know me, they trust me, they follow me. Y'all can go in the woods and you won't see hide nor hair or anything because you don't know what to look for. There are certain sounds that they make that you cannot, if you've not been into squatching, you will not know what it is. There's a certain, like, good example, a dove. There's a certain note that a dove makes that a squatch cannot make. They will screw up every time. I've heard that. A bear cannot throw rocks at you. A bear cannot throw limbs at you. A bear does not have a footprint. Hold on. A bear does not have a footprint that looks this big. This right here I got out of Kennedy Fields. You notice it says 13 and 3/4 inches long. If it is a bear, and I doubt if it is. The biggest bear I've seen so far, its track from one side to the other was 6¼ inches, and the length from the bottom pad to the top of his middle toe was 6½ inches. That's a 400-pound black bear. That's that sow that has been in the apple orchard and in the Kennedy area that's got two cubs. I know because I've run in every time I go back before hunting season come in. I would run into her every single time I'm back there. I had two boys from Richmond 3 weeks ago come here from Richmond to do some bear hunting. They didn't even know about Bigfoot. They camped out down next to the swimming hole there in the campsite, right across the road from the swimming hole. One guy was down there washing dishes, and a big rock come flying over top of him and hit the water. His other buddy said he heard something running down the creek. Now, it seems funny since when the bears start picking up rocks and throwing rocks at people? They can't. Daniel Benoit and his daughter was in my camp that weekend. They heard one coyote let out a yell, then they heard the pack, and then 2 minutes later, they got 4 green eyeballs that was over 6 foot tall behind the camp about 20 yards. Bears don't have fluorescent green part. Their eyes are about this far apart and they're red. A red fox has red eyes. Deer has a golden look in its eyes. The deer in the headlight look, and everybody knows that. Each animal eyes have a different appearance, color. Sasquatches can see at night. Their eyes can absorb light like a cat. Any creature that feeds at nighttime, their eyes absorb light. That helps them see at night. That's something people don't realize. Like I said, I've been doing this since '81. I've studied it. I've had them around me. Yes, they are up on the coal roads. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't see them. You won't even know what you're hearing. They will not show themselves. You could walk right by one standing 40 yards from you, in front of you, and walk right by them. You'll never see them. They are masters at camouflage. They use nature to camouflage themselves. Their hair is like deer or a leopard or a bobcat. I've had a bobcat sit 8 to 10 feet from me for 3.5 hours looking at me, and I never knew. And I was looking dead. I was looking right at him the whole time. I never knew he was there. That's the way squatches are. They are a very elusive creature. If they want you to know that they're there, they will let you know. That's something that people, that's why people say, well, how come there's no bones? Okay, Sasquatch, through DNA, has been proven human hybrid. What do humans do with their dead? They bury them. That's why no one has found any bones. And the way I see it, maybe 50 years down the road, somebody somebody will find bones. It might be in China, it might be in Mexico, it might be in Texas, it might be in Virginia, hell, it might be in Egypt, Who knows? Bones will be found. Like, how often do you find dead bear bones? You don't. Bears die naturally out in the woods. What happens to their bones? You got squirrels, you got rodents that eat the marrow, eat the bone. That's why when you find bones in the woods, they're gnawed on. They're getting to the marrow in the middle of the bone. Then the bones are being eaten because it's calcium. Squatches, maybe the same way, but they bury their dead. That's why no one has been able to find them. If I found Squatch bones, if I find Sasquatch bones, how could I prove it? Maybe DNA, I don't know. I have found a lot of bones in the woods, but I can't tell you what they are. And I'm not going to pay a boatload of money to find out. I'll tell you what, Nikki,
What's up?
For about 1 minute, I want you to tell them about your research area. I got to leave for a second. I'll be right back. Okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Well, I used to search an area in Arizona off the Mogollon Rim. Actually, not too far from Mitchell Waite's Mogollon Monster area. I don't know if any of you know him. He passed this year, and so his site has kind of like not been taken care of. But and there's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of tree structures. There's footprints out there. I had a lot of stuff going on, but I never saw one. Never could not explain anything that happened to me out there. And if I see something and I go up to it. They're always a stump. They're always something. That's just the way I am. I don't just film something and see something suspicious and then leave it at that. I'll go up and I'll look at it and see what it is. But the last time, not this last year, year prior, I went back and there were signs that people had been in the area, squatters, homeless, a lot of garbage, and tree structures were completely gone. Ones that I have been recording, getting older every year, were even destroyed. So that area near Long Valley completely changed. So I had kind of have to find a new area, but now I live in El Paso, so my nearest area to check now is about 2 hours north of here. We've got some good area, but I haven't yet explored.
Maybe as your kids get older, you'll have more time.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what my goal is, to be able to, 2 hours is just a hopscotch away. So that's what I'm going to start to do once my kids are a little more stable. I still have an 8-year-old, so that's pretty demanding. And
mine's 12 and on the verge,
but it's
getting
something
older. But
that I love to camp. I want to take my kids out camping. I love camping. I've been camping out all my life in Arizona, all the way from the Grand Canyon all the way down into the White Mountains, and we had all kinds of stuff going on there, including aliens. So there's all kinds of stuff.
I know there's a lot of that activity reported out that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's still my home state. My rest of my family still lives there, so I still get out into the wilderness there, but it's not in a research capacity anymore. Um, if we had retired there, I might have picked up maybe where Mitchell Waite left off in that area, because I know where it's at. I don't know exactly, but if you've lived there your whole life, it's kind of like, I
Yeah.
kind of knew where his Garden of Eden would be, and his Spooky Valley and everything that he had. But you don't go tell people those things, Like I said, I don't go tell people what I'm doing or where I'm at, pretty much, because I'm out for my own answers.
And
All
then
I know, and then it'll be good.
and then it gets ruined. It gets
Yeah,
ruined if the public knows too much.
right. And so that's where I kind of leave it, And if I have something interesting, I'll post it. I used to do YouTube and talk about stuff online, what was happening in the Bigfoot community. But man, things got so negative this last year that I was tired of talking about hoaxers and everything. And people were.
I never realized how ugly people could acted in the Bigfoot
Oh
community
yeah,
toward
they
one
definitely
another.
groups are pick on other groups and calling out people as hoaxers and they can do whatever you want to do, and if you want to be associated with them, fine, but there's really no need, because it hasn't
There's
been proved
not.
to science. Bigfoot has not been proved to science. Even if Freddie has proof, we don't. I don't, and I just want to keep doing my thing and learning and hearing people's experiences. And I didn't care if Rick Dyer was a hoaxer, and I let everybody know that, and that kind of upset people. But I didn't care. That was my Bigfoot soap opera every day.
Yeah. Hey, Nikki.
I just
Yeah.
like to watch what was going on next. I didn't care. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to give them any money. If people gave
I
him,
agree.
if people gave him money and they lost money, that's their own fault.
Yeah.
You do
Hey,
not
Nikki.
hand over your hard-earned money to people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't.
Hey, Nikki.
What?
I will send you that that sheet that copy that they sent me.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Everything. Okay, I got
it's
a
still. Oh, go ahead.
I got a question here. Has anyone ever seen them with red eyes? Hey, I know I have. How about you? You ever seen red eyes?
No, no.
Okay, close as I can gather, the red eyes means that they're not in a good mood and that they're a grouch.
Mood swinging eyes.
Yeah,
Mood
basically,
ring.
call it that. Because one night, me and my brother Jeff, and some people from a certain group that I used to be a member of, and her son and the girl's son was with us, and this kid was a little mouthy thing. I mean, he ragged, but he was a cocky little guy, which is good. But for about 5 minutes, he just froze up, tucked his hands down, and looked out the ground. I'm saying, what's wrong? You cocky and swearing off? He said, no. I said, what's wrong? He said, look up on the hill. I said, what? He said, look. I looked up on the hill and I seen two red eyeballs about this far apart. And they looked at me, and I looked up and saw them, and it looked at me for about maybe 20 seconds. And then he walked over the ridge. And I knew that where he was headed. But the thing about it was, I did see red eyeballs. Normally when I see the eyeballs, their eyes are a fluorescent green. All right, here's a question. Nikki, you can help me on this one. How did Bigfoot come to learn the ancient Cherokee language, or any language?
Good question.
Well, if it is that an ancient human, then it would have been dealing directly with the natives. So it would have picked up that language just like any child picks up their own language, if that's the way it evolved, you know. I don't
Because,
think it would have just had its own language from wherever it started.
well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna try this tomorrow, or I'm gonna try it one day when I get a chance to. I'm gonna go to the birthing area, and I'm gonna set up my audio recorder and just let it stay for like 48 hours. But where I'm gonna go, I got to kind of go around, not over the top, but I got to go around the back side to a certain point and stop, and hopefully I'll get some chattering. And when I take and I'll download it and play it on here. Now, basically, what I've been hearing, if you remember the Sierra Sounds, 1976, that's basically what I'm hearing, but they're being quiet about it. You know, like they're talking, but they don't want you to hear. So when you're in the woods, it sounds like you hear someone talking at a long distance. Like, is someone in here talking? I mean, it's like someone in these woods with me. That's what it sounds like. A certain man, there was a guy who, let me try to explain this. There was a guy in the Navy back in the early 70s during the, well, let's say during the Korean War. And his job on the ship was to break the enemy's codes, messages and stuff. Well, a few years after he got retired, his son come up to him and said, "Dad, we're doing a thing on Bigfoot in school, and they want to know about the language. What language do they speak, and how do they speak it?" Well, the guy took and went to the Sierra Sounds and took one of the recordings, and he slowed it down by 98%. Now, if I can remember, I think when he slowed it down, it said it was old Spanish, real old Spanish that they don't speak anymore. And it said something like like a father and son was talking. It said, "Son, this is a story from the heart," or something like that. But the ones in my area speak ancient Cherokee dialect. Now I can't say for down in Arizona, I can't say for Texas, I can't say for in Canada and where Keith and everything lives. And down in well, actually down in Leo's area, they would still speak Spanish. I mean, Cherokee, because the Cherokee was what Virginia,
Cherokee
North Carolina, and
and
South Carolina.
Cherokee's in the mountains of North Carolina. Tuscarora were in the on the eastern North Carolina. But yeah,
And
Cherokee.
and down in Florida, you got the Seminoles.
Yeah.
See, I think you got Pamunkey, which I lived on a Pamunkey reservation in West Point, Virginia. And their language, oh man, they got some wild language there. But anyway, but Sasquatches in each area, each part of the world probably speaks, but they speak in another language, but they talk so fast, it sounds like jibber jabber. That's what I interpreted. And when I got that recording, when I didn't mean to get it. It just happened, and I sent it away, and that's what it come back as to. You know, and the lady sent me a link to learn ancient Cherokee dialect. And I go to that link every once in a while, and I'll get the language, and it shows how they speak it. And the lady will say, like, Ushka, Yate, then it'll have what it means in English. And I get that, and I start doing that. And that's how I'm learning it. So I know what each of them symbols mean to it. And I found, and a lot of Cherokee, and a lot of symbols that I've been finding in the woods, like I found an X, a massive X. And down on the ground, I found three small X's. But, just little ones about like that, which I believe the juveniles were imitating their parents doing what they do.
Yeah.
Bigfoot's talking sounds like rap music. Well,
That's not a compliment.
I guess so. I guess if they got their pants down around their ankles and everything, I guess they could be rappers. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean,
I
I
have a
be,
comment.
I mean, I'm lucky because I live right off the National Forest, right off George Washington National Forest, which is 1 mile from my house, and I'm right off the Blue Ridge Parkway. I mean, I didn't purposely say I'm going to look for a Bigfoot and found them. No, when you go in that woods, you don't know what to expect. If you go in there every day and every day and every day like I do, you get to the point where they're gonna test you, and I got tested. But then I started to learn. Then I started to learn what they were doing, and then I started feeding off what they were doing, and it worked. And now it's to the point where they follow me. Now next year, I'll have to go through the whole scenario again because it's a new group of new group coming in. They go to back to the area where they were born at and give birth to their young. And the way I believe it is that the parents teach their young ones, watch the humans, watch, learn, avoid, watch them but stay hidden. And yeah, they will stay hid, but the juveniles always mess up. That's the fun part about it. Juveniles like to play games. If they throw a rock back at you, pick up rocks. Oh, you drop this and throw it back at them. If they're in a playful mood, they'll throw it back at you. If you go in the woods and say, I wonder if there's a squatch in here, and you knock on a tree, and all of a sudden you get the exact same knock back, and then you start knocking again, and they keep answering you back, you're like, well, that could have been a woodpecker, but the woodpecker won't answer you in the same thing back every exact knock. Uh, has anyone ever seen Bigfoot droppings? I don't know. Not around here that I know of. Well, I don't know. I found some, but I found some that was number tree bark. And I took it to Wildlife Center, and they didn't know. And I talked to Bill Brock, and Bill Brock said it was porcupine. But there's no porcupines indigenous to the Shenandoah Valley. But he said his they seen one down in Chesterfield. That's next to the capital of Virginia, Richmond. They might be down there, but not up in here. But I don't
We
know.
don't
I
have one in
had
North
some,
Carolina at
but
all.
huh?
I said we have
Do
no
what?
porcupines in North Carolina,
Right. But I took
so
it to
I
the
wouldn't
wildlife.
think they'd be in Virginia either.
Yeah. So I took the scat to the wildlife center, and they say all this is just wood shavings. I mean, off tree bark. I said, well, look how it's shaped. Because I just took a glove and picked it up, picked the whole pile up, and put it in a bag and took it to wildlife center and everything. It had no smell. It smelled like pine bark. That could have
Hmm.
been a squatch. It could have been a bear. I don't know. So there's certain trees that a bear will eat. That a squat tree, like like a sassafras tree, they could use the berries to eat. They could use the roots for stomach medical purposes. The native Indians use nature as their doctor's office. They know exactly what herbs and everything to do, and I believe squatches are the same way. You could use like we take the roots of sassafras and we make sassafras tea, or we could make root beer, or you could take that root and shave it, ball it up, and put it on a toothache, and it'll take the toothache away.
Yeah.
Miss D, if you're a skeptic, I can understand that. What you need to do is you need to go out in the woods with a camera and look for trees that are this big around, let's say like white maples, and find them bowed over and tucked underneath the log. You need to find trees that are like this, and all of a sudden they're snapped. When you find that, look for a twist. If you find an X, you'll find it between two trees, or you'll find it like this, and the tree going up this way, and it's on it like that. Sometimes you'll find trees with four trees. Well, you have one tree up, and you'll have three trees bent over and tied in a circle or tied together around that tree. Bears can't do that. Paula Holland says, have you ever heard them fighting with each other? No, I can't say I have. I believe if they do, it'll be very loud.
There is a recording of that.
Who's got that?
And I'm not sure who. I couldn't tell you where to go look for it, but it
well, let's use the Sierra sounds. That could be them. You ever heard of Sierra sounds?
Yes.
Okay, that could be them fighting. That could be them having a family dispute. It's hard to tell.
There is a recording that it really does sound like a husband and wife bickering. Now, whatever or whoever, but that it's back and forth, and it really, that would be the impression you would get. Now, whether it's true, not true, that's to each his own to decide, but it really does sound like two bickering back and forth with each other.
Yeah. All right. Now here's a question I got for everybody on the panel here. Do you think Bigfoot could figure out how to use a gun?
I think it can accidentally set it off if it's loaded and ready to go. I mean, chimpanzees.
With the cartridge and stuff. No.
Well, the way I see it.
Yeah, if it was cocked and ready, maybe.
Right. Now, I believe if let's say if I went in there with a shotgun every day, and I would go to one certain spot, take the shotgun shells out, and say let's use a pump shotgun. They watch you put the shells in, they watch you kink kink, and then go shoot. And every time you shoot a squirrel, they see you going like this, and then you fire.
Well, I believe they're teachable. They have to be teachable, otherwise we would have them in our back.
I agree. I agree. They can learn by watching.
Well, I'll give you a little secret. When I was doing the peanut butter back about a couple of years ago, I took peanut butter, I took a jar, I held it up. I said, this is how you take it off. And I went like this, like you take it off. Then I touched the jar, turned the lid, and picked it up. Yeah, I said, I put the jar back down. I said, now this is how you screw it on. I went this way. I picked up the lid, put it down on it, and screwed it. I come back 2 days later. That's when the jars were missing, but the lids were laid down next to each stick. Everybody asked me, what happened to the jars? I don't know. Would you believe last year I'm bebopping through the area, and I decided, I'm going to walk up this way. I walked up behind a big old bull pine, and what do you know? I found 42 peanut butter jars stacked up in 3 nice little piles, little rows, like 1, 2, and 3. There's where all the jars went. And where it was at it was within watching me do it.
Barb Shoot has had them take lids off jars.
Yeah. Yeah, they're teachable.
Okay.
But let me ask you this. There are some people who say that if you can see my hand, that their thumbs don't face their fingers like ours do, that their thumbs are flat and face like these fingers face out, the palm of your thumb faces out.
Yeah. Which
they could still take a lid off, but as far as firing a gun, would that hinder them in loading, unloading, pulling triggers, that kind of a thing? Do you
Well,
think their thumbs lay flat or their thumbs are more out like ours?
from the handprints I've seen, exactly like a human's. The only difference is they got a little bit deeper gait right
Uh-huh.
right here, a little bit deeper, which kind of makes them go like that.
Okay.
I found knuckle prints, and I found juvenile handprints from 5 inches to 11.5 inches, and 10.5 inches wide. The middle finger was 11 inches long only. 11 inches. That's just the finger. They got
Wow.
big hands,
That's
but
a big,
if they can mimic taking off peanut butter lids that I got on there tight, because
yeah,
if a bear got a hold of it, there would be holes in the lid, there'd be holes in the jar from him chewing it all to hell.
yeah,
And the way I tightened my lids for them, a coon couldn't even get it open because I had them sitting. I got the plastic jars and I poked a hole in the bottom and I put a stick all the way from the bottom of the jar to the top of the jar and stuck them in the ground. That means that they would have to stand there and they had to pull the sticks out of the ground and take the sticks with them to get the lid off. So it wasn't them. And I, in the area I worked in, when I left the area, I smoothed it out, and it looked like I took a disc to it.
hmm,
And when I come back a couple days later, it'd be flatter than a pancake, and little teeny footprints up to big footprints would be there.
I got one question
cool.
before.
All right, go ahead.
Why do you think the science community has not embraced the Bigfoot community?
Because they have not found any bones. That's the bottom line. If they found bones, you're going to say, oh, we found bones. All right, the reason that the government will not admit that Sasquatch is a known species of North America or in existence period is because of loggers.
Yep.
There was you remember that show called American Loggers
Yeah.
where they went into the swamps, they cut logs and laid them down to run the track hose on?
Yep.
Well, in one scene it shows the owner and the traco operator talking, and would you believe right beyond him behind the bush, about 9 foot in the high air, there's a Sasquatch from his neck up looking at them. And if the government did admit it, it would shut down all the logging companies. That means that wherever there's a Sasquatch family group, they would have to preserve it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No wood would have been able to be cut ever because of the Sasquatch and of the tree huggers and all that bunch of stuff like that. That is the main reason why people say, well, Bigfoot don't exist. Because I said, why? Because I've never seen one. Of course not, you're not going to see them. They're very elusive.
But how many have seen you?
Oh my God,
That's
man.
true.
I ain't gonna, hey, in my area alone this year, I have counted over 80
Holy
different
cow.
Sasquatches from, from 3.5 foot tall to 11 foot tall. But do I tell people? No.
No.
Why? Why? Because I'm going to get ridiculed whether they like it or not. So I got to the point I really don't tell anybody. I'll show the videos that I got. If someone posts on it, fine. But what I do have, when the time is right, I will show what I have. But till then, nah. I mean, if you go to my photos, or if you go to my photos and look through my photos, you will see all the squatches. Uh-oh. Nikki's on the prowl. That's cool. But I mean, but what people's got to realize, you know, let's see.
It
All right.
it was on Swamp Bloggers. I found it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it.
Swamp Loggers is down here near where I live. Was where that show was made.
Okay, Miss D says, I've been all over the mountains here in California the last 30 years. Never heard, seen such things because you don't know what to look for.
Fred, that's what I just said. She's never seen any, but how many have seen her?
Exactly.
That's true.
Um, um, just go to my Facebook and go on the photos. Or, let's see, Facebook. Yeah, just go to my Facebook and punch photos. I think there's some in there and everything. The ones I want everybody to see.
Period at the end.
You know, I think the best picture I got is
Period at
the
the end.
two that was 10. I think the best ones I got were the two that was 10 foot from me, the adult with the juvenile on his shoulder, because it look. You see the juvenile, you see the adult down there with a hairy face. You see two black eyes, a mouth, and a nose, but the juvenile over top of it looks like a skeleton. Let me see if I can do this real quick here.
Okay, keep
Let's see
it over
here.
there. I'll be right there.
All right, let's see here.
Nikki, could you share that link, please, to Fred's
Wait a
page,
minute.
maybe?
Yeah, hold on.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wait a
I'd
minute.
love to.
Wait a minute. I got to hit screen share here real quick. Let me see right here.
I'd love to see that
All right, screen share.
later.
Okay, here we go. Try this again. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but I'm gonna try it. Okay. Let's see. All right, here's the one peeking at me. Let me do it this way. See that one peeking at me right there?
Nope.
Do y'all see my picture?
I see you.
No,
You see me? Damn.
you didn't share it. Screenshot it.
Well, I'm trying to. I've got it on a. Wait a minute. Yeah, I got it on a screen share.
Really?
Wait a minute. Damn, I lost it again.
I put that link up on the chat. Do you see it?
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Let me try to get myself back on here.
Yes. Thank
Here we
you. I've seen the show, but I would like to watch that particular piece again. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Okay. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We lost him.
Freddie has left the building.
He knocked himself off.
We're on our own now.
Oh no!
Every time he goes to screen share, I don't know what happens.
He's still learning, but he's doing good. He's trying. He's learning.
I'm not sure if I can share this link on here. I might be able to. Let me see if it'll let me. Okay, and then we go here, and then we go here. Okay, can you see mine down there?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
So click on me down there to make your screen big. I don't know if it's showing everybody or not.
I can see it though. Okay, I see it. The snake. It's not big enough. Oh, wait.
Not big enough?
If I can get it to expand. No, but if I've got it, I may, be able to see it better, in a little bit.
Hello?
Hello,
Yeah,
Penny.
we're
You're
here.
back.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to, oh gosh, I thought I lost y'all for a minute.
Oh, I do see that.
I can't.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the video.
Something definitely moves.
And it's dark and looks
Y'all
fairly
see that?
tall.
Y'all see that? Dang it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait. Do we? No,
If you
Fred, I
want
don't.
to, I'll get out so that you don't have to do anything. There.
No, we're on me.
Oh,
Is
how
that
did that
just me
happen?
on me? It might just be. It might just be me. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all still see me?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
there.
Okay. I just lost my chat board and everything. Maybe I'm just trying. Oh, this is irritating as crap to me.
I
You
know the
gotta
feeling.
you gotta stop pushing that X button.
No. What I was trying to do, I was trying to get the wait a minute. I was trying to bring up my photos, but I must have hit the wrong button or something, and I can't figure out how to. I can't even get to my dad blasted window. Dag nabbit. All right, let me try this. But anyway, heck with it. I'm getting ready to. I got about another. What is that? What 9:50? Got about 8 more minutes left. So anyway,
Post it after the show, Fred.
post what?
What you were going to show us. The
Oh,
picture.
okay. If I can find it, I got it in my Google Mail and everything. Let's see. List all available comments. All right. Let me see. Click, click. No, I ain't got that. But anyway, yeah, it's people. A lot of people, still don't believe Bigfoot exists, and they do exist. And everybody says, "Well, I've been in the woods for so many years." Well, that's fine. It's not. You got to believe it. It's you got to be at the right place at the right time. Is all I can tell you. I got lucky. I had one come out in front of me. One in 81, 86, 2013. I got lucky, and now they follow me, and I love it. But I do not. The reason that they trust me is because I do not go after them. I do not chase them. That is the worst thing you can do. Don't ever. If you see a Sasquatch, look at him, throw your hand up, say hi, and walk away. They're going to wonder why, like, wait a minute, why is he walking away? And Derek, okay, what are you doing with Daniel? Oh, got a picture of me there. But if you just throw your hand up and say, how you doing, and walk away, they're going to be like, why is he walking away? And they're going to follow you. They want to see what you're going to do. And I guess I just done the right things. That's my grandson, and they just follow me.
Well,
That's
you're not a threat then. If you're
no,
just
no, I'm
walking
not.
away, you're not
I'm
a
not a threat.
threat.
Right. I'm not a threat. Nikki, why are you're on that picture too?
She's hiding.
Yeah, she got some good pictures. But anyway, I guess I feel sorry for Tim Fasano until I get a hold of his scrawny ass. I'm gonna find out. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say that, but he might be. I know he's not in the woods because he was in there last week. So and he said bump it up a week, and I bumped it up a week, and that tonight's the end of that week. And he's supposed to have been here because he said because I called him live on the phone one time, and he said on the Skype, and he said, yeah, I'd love it. I'd be honored to be on there. Guess what? You ain't on here, Fasano. But that's all right. I think we had a good discussion and
Good
everything,
night.
I
and
think so too.
I hope y'all learned a little bit about what I was talking about and understand. Some of you believe me, some of you don't. Bottom line is, I don't care because there's always going to be non-believers And there's always going to be believers. There's going to be some saying, well, I want to see DNA proof. Well, all I can say is I got a copy, so, you know, I
They're
must be
working on
lucky.
it.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I mean,
Yeah, they're working on it.
you know,
And there are people out there doing stuff, DNA and.
I have blood.
Yeah.
Well, I got photographs and everything now. That's something wore out. But I got video. I've got photographs of blood after birth, what the bedding area looks like. What they do is they go 8 to 10 foot wide and about 13 foot long, and they put sticks all the way around it, and then they defecate all the way around it. So when she has that baby, when that baby's born, they're plumb loco. But the smell of the feces will keep it next to its mom until she's ready to go. And I got lucky and happened to bebop through there one day, and apparently just right after they left, because I found blood and I found afterbirth. And I went and had them checked out, and they was unknown primate. So, and I have clear photographs from, like, I'm looking at Keith, I'm looking at Nate, Leo, I'm looking at Nikki. That's how clear the face shots are.
Nice.
But I'm not going to release anything until the exact time is right. Call me full of shit. I don't care. I got it. I know it's in my area. Yeah, there's a lot of people on here. Well, I'm from that area too. I've never seen anything. Because you don't know what to look for. You don't know what to listen for. When you go in the woods, let your senses go. You wouldn't believe. Now, when I first started going in the woods, I would hear birds, I'd hear squirrels, and that was it. Well, once I started going in and listening, just letting my senses go, and letting my vision, you know, just go where it wants to, you wouldn't believe what you would see. I found stuff that a good example, yesterday and a couple of days ago, I met two brother hunters. One of them says, you know, are you the one driving that green Jeep that's got Bigfoot? And I said, yeah. He said, that's full of shit. I said, no. I said, when you're back there hunting, did you find this? Did you find that? Did you find this? He said, yeah, why? I said, that's them. He said, how do you know? I said, a bear can't twist a tree like this way. A bear can't bend the tree over and pick up a log and tuck it underneath there. A bear cannot make an X. A bear cannot snap a healthy tree 9 foot in the air like this. A bear can push a tree over and uproot it, but they cannot break it with like hands or anything. There's no way possible. And I'm going to tell the people that live in my area that's listening, you got my YouTube channel, you know who I am, send me a link, send me a number or something. I will take you out there and I will teach you. How do I know so much about Bigfoot? Because I observe and I listen and I learn. Everything is out there. You just have to know how to read it. It's like Indians. Instead of using words, they use, what's that word called? Pentagraphs, Nikki? Like little drawings and stuff. What do you call it? Pentagraphs?
No, hieroglyphs.
Yeah, hieroglyphs. You know, they leave, you know, Indians, they left stuff like that, you know. It's all down through the years, centuries and centuries of about Bigfoot. Bigfoot, Indians, the Bigfoot learned from the Indians. What Bigfoot is doing is, I say, is using what they were taught down through the generations.
Or could it be vice versa?
Could be what?
Could it be vice versa? The Indians learn from the Bigfoot.
I can't say yes and I can't say no, but that is a good thought. What do you think, Nikki?
Sorry, I was checking out something else. What was the question again?
Leo says, do you think it's vice versa? Instead of Squatches learn from the Indians, you think the Indians learn from the Bigfoot?
Well, who was here first? I don't know who was here first.
No one knows.
The chicken or the
You don't
egg?
know. You have to know that. You have to know if they came from
Right.
wherever they came from. Did they come across the land bridge? Did they what? You know,
Okay, let's do
where
it
did
this
they
way.
come from? We don't know.
Okay, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. You had, um, you had the caveman. You had the crow. What's that word?
Magnum.
Yeah, you had Cro-Magnums. Then you had, but then you had
Neanderthal.
right. You had all that. Now, think about it: is modern man come in right at the end of the, right in there. What's that word again?
Neolithic period.
Okay, yeah. Somewhere in there, somebody started to get a little bit from the other side, and maybe it just worked back and forth like that. And there is a few little things floating around that maybe, just maybe, one of the Cro-Magnums might have got really riled up and snagged something it wasn't supposed to and bred with it. I got a buddy of mine who swears up and down that Bigfoot is a Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus was a 10-foot tall orangutan 10 million years ago.
Yeah.
Bigfoot does not look like a orangutan. He looks like a human. Everything that a female's got, they got. Everything a male's got, they got. Just bigger. And their faces look like a human. But that's not to say there's 3 or 4 different types of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You got some that look like a human. You got some that looks like a, what's that monkey? What was that picture?
Chimpanzee.
No. Well, yeah, baboon.
Oh,
Seven.
Yeah, I talk about that creature they got at 7 shoots.
oh, the dog man type.
Right. That
Yeah, the
could,
dogman type. Yep.
yeah. Now that could be a form of a Bigfoot too. It's really hard to say. Different because I was listening to a show this morning about Dogman, and then all of a sudden this other person come on and was talking about there are 4 different kinds of Bigfoots and described them. And we're talking about things from different part of the country. From say from where Keith lives at, all the way down to where I live at, and all over the world, there's different types, Nobody knows exactly what type is what. All thing I can say is in my area, the biggest one's 11 foot tall. He's silverish, blackish gray. He looks like a human, but when I first met him, he looked like a Volkswagen squatting down behind some brush. He was huge. He threw a rock at me, and I threw it back. He got mad and grunted. I hauled ass down the hill, stopped and turned and looked up at the hill at him, and it looked like a freaking Volkswagen bus. He was huge. I've had hunters over the past 4 years tell me about one certain particular area that they've been seeing what they thought was a bear until it stood out behind a tree, watched them, and turned around and walked away. They said, no way in hell was that a bear. Bears got short legs. This sucker had long legs and walked like a human. But that's the way the ball bounces, folks, But anyway, we've reached the end of our show, and Mr. fasaNO, I'm going to talk to you later if I can get a hold of you. But anyway, it was a good show. Tim, you missed it. I thank Keith, I thank Leo, and I thank my longtime secret crush, Nikki. And if you ever want to get a hold of me or watching my videos, just go to Freddy59100 on my YouTube channel and go to my Valley Bigfootin'. That's VALLEYBIGFOOTIN. That's 2 words. Valley, then Bigfootin'. Bigfootin' is 1 word. And go to my other link, Inside the Virginia Squatch. And this link here is going underneath a link that I started for researchers groups. It's called Researchers Across the Country. What that is, it's a video that helps beginners who want to get into it, or someone who has questions they want answered. Like if you want to learn about how to use a camera from behind, go to my YouTube channel, punch on Scott Carpenter, and he'll give you the whole video. If you want to learn about Dogman, Go to Scott Carpenter. Check out his Dogman videos. He's got them. They're real. Maybe. No, but they're real. Anyway, y'all have a good evening, folks. Guys, stay on the line. Y'all have a good evening, and I
Peace.
will holler at
Bye.
y'all.
Peace. Peace.
And y'all be good, and peace out, brother.